welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be part 2 of the Faith Hedgepeth case. Now I know in the last video I left it off very abruptly, my bad for that, but my camera did die, so we're just going to jump right into it and start off from where I left off. So like I said, the police did release a profile of the killer. They believe that he possibly knew Faith and that he lived nearby. He had seen her around and he had tried to make advances to her, but she denied him. The police believe that after the murder, the suspect's behavior would have changed. He also would have been looking up the case a lot and trying to figure out what's going on. With this release, there still hasn't been any information gained from the public. People believe that the Chapel Hill Police Department was too small and that they weren't equipped enough to handle this type of case. During the investigation, the police did seal off Karina's apartment and a couple apartments around, but they only searched Karina's apartment. They didn't search the apartments that were around Karina's apartment, which is a big mishap that the police made. Also, Karina's apartment was located in front of woods. They did not go to the woods and search it. They left Faith's car unsecure and did not search Faith's car that was in the parking lot right in front of their apartment. The police department did realize that they needed help, so they contacted the SBI. The SBI came in and they canvassed the neighbors, finally. They asked the appropriate questions and they actually gained a bit of information. Now let's jump into the autopsy. The autopsy was released in 2014. According to the autopsy, Faith did die from blunt force trauma to the head. She also had multiple lacerations to her face and to the side of her head. Her nose was broken. Her skull had been fractured. There were bruises to her arms. There were contusions to her hands. And actually, there was no signs of SA, which is very shocking because I thought that there would be, but there wasn't. According to the medical examiner, he said that whoever did commit this crime did it with a lot of rage. Now let's jump into the 911 call. So the 911 call was released in 2014. After listening to the 911 call, it did make Karina seem very suspicious. The call lasted for approximately 8 minutes. The first thing Karina says on the 911 call is, "I just walked into the apartment." She didn't say, "We just walked into the apartment." She said, "I just walked into the apartment." So that makes her seem suspicious because why is she trying to hide that she is with another person?
Dial 911, where is your emergency?
I just walked into my apartment and my friend is just like, he's unconscious. He's unconscious. I just walked in the apartment and there looks like there's blood everywhere.
Okay, listen to...
Now, the operator did ask multiple times, "Who am I speaking to?" But Karina was very reluctant to answer the question. Many people believe that this was Marisol that made the 911 call because if you do listen to Marisol on the Breaking Homicide clip, she sounds exactly like the person who made the 911 call.
So I picked up Karina and we came back to the apartment.
I don't know what happened. I just don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on. Like, I just can't believe this.
Now, this could be a far-fetched, but it seems to line up a little bit because why didn't Karina want anyone to know that she was with someone else? The operator did state, "You're doing all right. Stay on the phone. I just don't want you to be alone right now." Karina responds, "Okay." She didn't say, "Oh, I'm not alone. I'm with somebody." She just said, "Okay." Another reason why people think that Marisol is the one who made the 911 call is because when she was interviewed later, she said that she didn't want to touch the body. And during the 911 call, Karina said that she did not want to touch the body to see if Faith was still alive. Also, during the 911 call, she never said Faith's name. Now let's go back to what Karina was saying during the call. She did give unsolicited information. She stated, "There's stuff in my room that was not here before. It looks like someone had came in here." Why was she saying all this random stuff? It seems like she was trying to plan the narrative that she was not at the apartment and she doesn't know what's going on, like I stated before. She thought it was very important to let them know that stuff was changed and she wasn't there when the crime had happened.
Stuff in my room that was not here before. Someone had came in here. It really does. It looks like someone had been in there. Someone had to have been in there. I don't know what happened. I just don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on. Like, I just can't believe this.
Now, we do know that Karina and Marisol were both there when they found Faith's body because after the 911 call, they went downstairs and they ran into a neighbor. The neighbor said that she saw Karina and Marisol. Marisol was softly crying and Karina was just on her phone texting. So after this phone call was released in 2014, the police also released that there was a note left next to Faith's body on a paper bag. Now, this paper bag that we did find out came from a restaurant called Time Out, and Faith did go to that restaurant the night before and she had takeout, so that's where that paper bag came from. After seeing pictures of the bag, it looks like the bag was crumpled up and someone had taken the bag, uncrumpled it, flattened it out, and then wrote a note on it. This note left on the bag said, "I'm not stupid, bitch jealous." Now, the way it was written, we don't know exactly how you're supposed to say it out. Some people say, "I'm not stupid, bitch jealous." Some people say, "I'm not stupid, bitch jealous." Some people say, "I'm not stupid, bitch jealous." We don't know exactly which way the person meant for it to be read out loud, so we're not for sure exactly how to take it, but that's what the bag said. This note was written in childlike handwriting, so professionals think that either someone took their non-dominant hand and wrote the note or tried to deliberately write it with their dominant hand to make it seem like it was not them. You do have to remember that the crime scene was completely covered in blood. The entire room was covered with blood. There was blood on the walls, there was blood on the bed, there was blood on the floor, there was blood on the Bacardi bottle, there was blood everywhere. But this paper bag had absolutely no blood on it. So that makes you think, did the person write it out before they did the crime and then brought it in there? Did they do the crime, go and wash their hands, and then find the bag, write the note on it, then leave it next to Faith's body? There's no way that the paper bag would have been in there while they were committing the murder because there would have been blood on the bag. Police think that after the crime, the killer was just so ramped up and they just wanted to leave a note. So they saw the bag and just grabbed it real quick, wrote on it, and then left it there. They don't think that the note was planned. But you also have to remember that if they went to go find his bag and write the note on it, then that person must have been comfortable within the apartment to go and search for the bag, search for a pen, write it out, and then leave it at the crime scene. If you're a stranger, you want to get in and get out quick. But this person took their time and left a note. That's how angry they were. And they weren't scared of getting caught. They just were freely roaming around. Because of this note, police believe that the killer did know Faith and they had some type of falling out or argument, because to leave that type of note, it seems like they had some prior experience with Faith, so they wanted to leave the note. Now, if we do think about it, Faith was already dead and they left the note after. So Faith would not be able to see the note. So that makes me think maybe the note was for Karina when she would find the body, because Faith was already dead. She wasn't going to see the note. So maybe the person wanted Karina to find the note and see that it was meant for her. I just want to mention that the police did find the pen that was used to write that note. And when they tested it, it was DNA on the pen, and the DNA matched the semen at the crime scene. Now, if this case isn't crazy enough, there's some information that we just found out a few years ago, which is Faith's phone pocket dialed somebody. At 1:23 a.m., Faith's phone pocket dialed one of her friends. The friend did not answer, so it went straight to voicemail. When the friend did see this voicemail, she listened to it, but she couldn't understand it and she thought it was just a pocket dial, so she deleted it. The next morning, the friend found out that Faith was murdered, so she went to retrieve the voicemail, but she remembered that she deleted it. She called her cell phone company and they actually provided her with the voicemail, and she sent it over to police. Now, on this voicemail, it was so unclear and you really couldn't hear anything, but they thought it might be important, so that's why the friend did send it over to the police. The police listened to it and figured that it was of not importance, so they didn't do anything with the voicemail. Arlo West, who is an audio specialist, got a hold of the voicemail and he listened to it, and he thinks that this voicemail is of Faith's murder. Now, Arlo West has worked on thousands of cases where there have been pocket dials. He has successfully recovered them and made a transcript of what the pocket dial said. On this voicemail, Arlo West says that he can hear 2 males and 2 females, one of them being Faith's. He said he can hear yelling, cries, and distress. In this voicemail, he says you can hear a female say, "You want to mess with my boyfriend?" Then Faith says, "I said I don't want to, Rosie." Now, I just want to pause right here and say that Karina's nickname was Rosie. Now, going back to the voicemail, it also says that Faith says, "Ow, help me, let me go." A male says, inaudible, "I think she's dying." Another male says, "Do it anyhow." A female says, "Don't be a blank, put up a fight." Faith says, "Please," inaudible, "me. My hands are on fire, help." Someone says, "I'm gonna kick your face, blank. I figure that's blank." A male says, "To our next victim." A female says, "All right." A male says, "Just throw her in the river."
You can clearly hear what I believe is Faith, pleading. She's being hurt,
Okay.
being attacked.
After the struggle going back and forth, you can hear T-Pain's song playing. The T-Pain song was called Booty Work. You can hear the song, like the instrumentals in the background, but you can hear a male rapping on top of it. And the way he was rapping, he wasn't saying the correct lyrics to the T-Pain song. He was kind of making it up as he was going. So this makes us believe that it wasn't T-Pain actually rapping and it was a male. Arlo believes that this male decided to play the song to mask Faith's cries and her pleas. Now, people think that this song was from the club that she was at, because if you remember, this voicemail was at 123. They think that this song was one of the songs being played in the club, but Arlo says that with this song, you can't hear commotion in the background as a club would have, and you can't hear any other instruments going on. It's just this song, and it's just someone rapping the words that aren't the correct lyrics. Now, police believe that this song is from the club, but like I said, Arlo West does not, because it doesn't match up. Police believe that since the timestamp was at 123, it's the time that she was at the club, and this is one of their songs. Arlo West says that during this time, the iPhone did have a glitch and the timestamps were off a few hours. Now, the police believe that because of this glitch, it's not going to cause the timestamp to be off these many hours. The police believe that Faith was murdered around 4:30 a.m. and like I said, this voicemail was at 1:23 a.m. and they think that it's too far of a gap for it to have been Faith's murder. In this phone call, you can hear the names Rosie and Eric, and we all know who Eric is, Karina's ex-boyfriend, and like I said, Karina's nickname was Rosie. Now, Faith's father did listen to this voicemail, and he believes that it is a Faith's murder. He said he can clearly hear Faith's voice, and it doesn't sound like they're at a club, and it sounds like she is in trouble and she needs help and people are hurting her. For all of this, in 2016, the police did reach out to the Paraban Nanolabs, and they created an image of what the killer should look like. They did this from the suspect's DNA that was left at the crime scene. Paraban released that the suspect would have olive skin, dark hair, brown eyes, and would be of Hispanic descent. So just recently, on September 16th, 2021, a suspect was arrested for Faith's murder. The police arrested Miguel Enrique Salguero Olivares. He is from Durham, North Carolina. He is a 28-year-old Hispanic man, and he was charged for first-degree murder and is being held without bond. 9 years ago, Miguel would have been 19 years old at the time of the crime scene. Now, if we look at the DNA and what Paraban said, he does match up with the olive skin, Hispanic descent, brown hair, brown eyes. He's a perfect match, so I believe they did find the guy. Now, I just want to mention that this technique was also used to find the Golden State Killer. Out of all the suspects I have mentioned so far, we have not mentioned Miguel, so we have no idea where he came from. Miguel was caught because he got arrested for an unrelated crime. For this crime, he had to provide his DNA, and the DNA went into the CODA system, and it matched to the DNA that was found at Faith's crime scene. So what we can gather from the internet is that Miguel had moved here from Guatemala. He is a painter, and he was never enrolled at Faith's college. So we're trying to figure out where he came from. A private investigator named Hunter Glass had worked on this case, and he did talk to a few of Faith's friends, and someone did mention that Miguel was at a party in Faith's apartment complex. So that's the only thing we know right now that is tying him to her. As of now, that is all we know that is tying Miguel to Faith. He does have a hearing on October 7th, 2021, and we're gonna find out more information about how he is tied to this crime. In my opinion, I think that this was not a random crime. I think that Miguel did know Faith, and I also think that he is tied to someone in this case that we talked about so far. Either Karina or either Eric, maybe Ty, maybe Alex, I'm not for sure. But I do think that he had an accomplice or was working with someone, or someone knew about this. I don't think it was just random. There are so many things we can speculate about this case. Why did Karina leave the door unlocked? Was this guy Eric's friend? Was Faith actually SA'd? What time did this murder actually happen? Was the voicemail the murder being committed. We still have a lot of questions about this case that we're unsure of. Like I said, the police are keeping this really tight to the vest. So I believe at this court hearing, we're gonna learn some more information, and down the road, there's probably gonna be a trial and we're gonna find out what actually happened. Okay guys, so that is it for this case. Thank you for watching my video. I really appreciate it. I'm just so excited that someone's actually been caught for Faith's murder. I can't believe it. I didn't think it was actually gonna happen. It's been 9 years since this murder has been committed, and by the grace of God, we have found out, maybe we have found out who did it. I think he did do it, and I think, like I said, he's tied with somebody else in this case. There's just no way. There's too many things that just are suspicious. So let's just keep Faith's family in our prayers and hope that this is a speedy trial. Hope that the person that actually committed the murder is going to be convicted. So like I said, thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to come back and watch some more. I'll be posting a lot about true crime, so I hope you guys are interested, and I hope you guys keep watching. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Bye guys.